like, it's one of those things where it's obviously they're treating players differently. And like, you even have Lexi Brown coming out and saying, like, she just came out and said, like, it's rookies got treated a lot better this year compared to last year. And let's just be completely honest. When it comes to Paige, Paige can do what Caitlyn does. And that these Caitlyn Clark haters, they hate Caitlyn because she's Caitlyn. They hate Caitlyn because she's Caitlyn.
Recent events in women's basketball have highlighted apparent inconsistencies in how media and players respond to similar on-court incidents involving different athletes. The situation centers around technical fouls received by both Caitlyn Clark and Paige Bueckers for comparable actions during games. Both players received technical fouls for clapping at referees following disputed calls. Clark's incident involved clapping toward an official, while Bueckers approached a referee and clapped directly in front of them. Officials correctly assessed technical fouls in both situations, as such behavior toward referees warrants disciplinary action regardless of the player involved.
Please, let's try to get these girls in the... This is what you want? Say no more. And the Indiana Fever fans did exactly that. First returns for the WNBA All-Star voting when it comes to the fan vote. Caitlyn Clark, number one, absolutely no surprise. The biggest, the best, the most noticeable, the face of the WNBA. If you had any questions about the face of the WNBA, look at that graphic right there. That's
The contrast emerged in the aftermath reactions. When Clark received her technical foul, extensive commentary and criticism followed about her conduct and demeanor. However, when Bueckers faced a similar penalty, the response was markedly different. Teammates and observers appeared more lighthearted about the situation, with some even showing amusement during and after the incident. This disparity reflects broader patterns in how different athletes are perceived and treated within professional women's basketball. Clark has faced numerous hard fouls throughout her career. Reportedly 7 or 8 flagrant fouls have been called in her favor, with additional uncalled incidents occurring. This suggests a pattern of physical targeting that extends beyond normal competitive play.
It's as simple as that. There's no reason. There's no rhyme or reason to it. And this is the biggest example. So, Caitlyn Clark and Paige Bueckers both got teed up for doing the exact same thing. So, Caitlyn Clark clapped at a referee and got teed up. Paige Bueckers clapped in a referee's face. Paige clapped in a referee's face. Like, I didn't realize it. Like, I don't have the actual footage.
The differential treatment stems partly from perceived threat levels. Other players and media may view Clark as a more significant competitive threat, leading to heightened scrutiny and more aggressive defensive approaches. Meanwhile, Bueckers, despite possessing elite talent and potential to become one of the sport's premier players, hasn't generated the same level of defensive intensity or media criticism. Fan communities surrounding both players exhibit similar passionate characteristics, often displaying extreme loyalty that can border on excessive. The notion that one fan base behaves differently from another overlooks the reality that devoted followers of individual athletes typically demonstrate comparable intensity levels, regardless of the specific player they support.
called the face of the league. Nafisa Collier, number 2, Aaliyah Boston, number 3, Asia Wilson, number 4, Brianna Stewart, number 5, Paige, Kiki Iriafen, 2 rookies in the top 10, and we got Kelsey Mitchell, 7, Sabrina, 8, and Lexi Hull, 9. We got 2 rookies, we got 4 Fever players, we got 2 Liberty players, we got Nafisa Collier, a top 2 player in the league right now, arguably the best, and we got Asia Wilson.
Media coverage reveals additional inconsistencies. When Clark expresses frustration with officiating or displays competitive emotion, commentary often focuses on her attitude and suggests she deserves aggressive treatment from opponents. Conversely, when Bueckers shows similar emotions, the narrative shifts toward discussing referee quality and game management rather than criticizing her behavior. Professional sports media faces challenges regarding impartiality. While individual content creators and fan-focused platforms openly acknowledge their preferences and biases, credentialed journalists covering entire leagues should maintain objectivity. However, much of the current coverage demonstrates clear preferences either supporting or opposing specific players, particularly regarding Clark.
That, I thought that was in this, but like, she walked up to the referee and clapped. She walked up to the referee and just clapped in their face. Which is, look, it is a technical foul. Like, there doesn't need to be think pieces. There doesn't need to be think pieces. It's a technical foul. It is what it is. The referees called the right thing in both situations. They're both technical fouls. Caitlin Clark deserved a technical foul. Both of them were reactions to missed calls. It happens. It's basketball. Players play with emotion, and for the first time, we've seen Paige show some emotion in her W.
The credentialed media landscape shows predominantly negative coverage toward Clark, while fan-generated content tends toward positive portrayals. This polarization leaves little middle ground perspective, making balanced analysis rare. Both players possess exceptional abilities and potential for greatness. Clark's trajectory suggests she could become an all-time great with proper team construction and coaching support that maximizes her unique skills rather than conforming her to conventional approaches. Similarly, Buckers displays qualities reminiscent of elite players like Maya Moore and could achieve similar heights with appropriate supporting cast development.
Asia Wilson conglomerate continues to show up for their girl, but not everybody's conglomerate is showing up for their girl. Not everybody's pieces are showing up for their girl. Not everybody's stands are showing up for their girl. Caitlin Clark, 500,000. Aaliyah Boston, like we said. When we start jumping out of the top 10, we got Kelsey Plum. Okay. Satu Sabali.
Coaching considerations play crucial roles in both players' futures. While current coaching staff may have positive relationships with players, optimal development might require different approaches that better complement each player's distinctive skill sets and competitive nature. The targeting Clark experiences likely would extend to any player reaching similar prominence levels. Should Buckers achieve comparable status and recognition, she would probably encounter similar treatment from opponents and media scrutiny.
NBA career. But, like, afterwards, people were like, Stewie just goes tech. But, like, people are going mad saying, like, oh, Stewie just did what she did. I was like, Stewie did that to Fee Collier. Like, that's competitors. That is competitors. And now you've got Paige getting teed up and, like, them just laughing. Them just laughing with Paige Beckers afterwards. At the same time, I don't know exactly, like, JC Sheldon grabs Paige Beckers over to ask what technical.
These incidents highlight systemic issues within women's professional basketball regarding referee consistency, media impartiality, and competitive conduct standards. Improved officiating could reduce many problematic situations by addressing fouls more consistently before they escalate into larger confrontations. The fundamental issue transcends individual players and reflects broader challenges in maintaining consistent standards across the league. Whether addressing physical play, technical fouls, or media coverage, establishing uniform approaches would benefit all participants and improve the overall competitive environment.
And then we got Angel Reese at 13 when it comes to WNBA fan voting. Angel Reese and the Reese's Pieces continue to have more Twitter fingers than actual action. They continue to talk a good game instead of being about a good game. This is fan voting. This is literally vote for who you are a fan of. Vote for who you're a fan of, or
both technical fouls represented routine basketball situations where emotions influence player behavior following disputed calls. The dramatic differences in subsequent reactions and commentary reveal more about existing biases and double standards than about the actual incidents themselves. Moving forward, addressing these disparities requires acknowledgement from media, players, and league officials about inconsistent treatment patterns. Only through recognizing and correcting these imbalances can the sport achieve the fair and competitive environment that showcases all players' talents equally.
Fouls for, and they're like confused about it. But like, I don't know. Like, as a fan, if you're a fan of a player, you'd rather see this. You would rather see the best player in the world throwing that at you. You would, or not, sorry, not the best player in the world. Jeez, one of the best players of all time. I'm not going to call Stewie the best player in the world. Jesus, Fee Collier is. But like, treating Caitlin the same way she would treat Nafisa Collier as a competitor.
The comparison between Clark and Beckers serves as a case study for broader issues affecting women's professional basketball, demonstrating how identical actions can generate vastly different responses based on pre-existing perceptions and biases rather than objective evaluation of the situations themselves. The initial WNBA All-Star Game fan voting results have unveiled significant insights about player popularity and fan dedication across different team bases. Caitlin Clark stands as the sole player to surpass 500,000 fan votes, establishing herself as the clear frontrunner in public support. Indiana Fever represents the most successful franchise in terms of fan mobilization, placing 4 players within the top 10 vote recipients. Caitlin Clark leads with over 500,000 votes, followed by teammate Aaliyah Boston in 3rd position, Kelsey Mitchell securing 7th place, and Lexi Hull claiming 9th position. This unprecedented showing demonstrates exceptional organizational strength from Fever supporters.
Vote for who you think is most worthy. Vote for who you're a fan of. Vote for who you think is most worthy. Vote for who you think are the stars in this league. Angel Reese fans, you guys aren't fans of her? You don't think she's most worthy? You don't think she's a star in this league? Now, fortunately for me, I've been pretty transparent in the venue with who I've been voting for. This is the first time I'm showing you guys I'm supporting my darling Angel.
The complete top 10 rankings reveal Clark at number 1, Nafisa Collier 2nd, Boston 3rd, Aja Wilson 4th, Brianna Stewart 5th, Paige Buckers 6th, Kiki Arifin also appearing, Mitchell 7th, Sabrina Ionescu 8th, and Hull 9th. Notable achievements include 2 rookies breaking into the top tier and multiple teams achieving representation. Fan voting patterns expose varying levels of supporter engagement across different player bases, while Clark's supporters consistently demonstrate overwhelming participation in voting initiatives, attendance figures, merchandise purchases, and viewership metrics. Other prominent players receive substantially less fan mobilization despite their on-court accomplishment. Particularly striking disparities emerge when examining voting totals for highly publicized players. Angel Reese currently sits at 13th position in fan voting, representing a significant decline from her 7th place finish in previous voting period. This positioning suggests disconnect between social media presence and actual fan engagement through official league mechanism.
And then just seeing a team that's just sucks at basketball, they're just, you know, laughing and being buddy after a technical foul. And I'm like, at the end of the day, there is a different treatment, and there's a different treatment for a reason. These people don't see Paige Beckers as a threat. They don't see Paige Beckers as a threat. And by the way, I mean this when I say this. Paige Beckers has the ability, be the best player in the world.
The voting system structure allocates influence across multiple stakeholder groups. Fan voting comprises 50% of starter selections, while current players and media panels each contribute 25%. Rankings across all 3 voting categories determine final scores, with the highest scoring 4 guards and 6 front court players earning starting positions. League head coaches subsequently select 12 reserve players through separate deliberations. Year-over-year voting trends illustrate remarkable league growth and increased fan participation. Comparing recent data with historical figures reveals extraordinary expansion in public engagement. The 2023 voting period generated approximately 35,000 total votes, with Aja Wilson leading, while 2024 saw dramatic increases reaching over 21,000 to 17,000 votes for the leading candidate. Current 2025 numbers indicate continued growth, effectively doubling previous totals. This exponential increase reflects broader league popularity expansion and demonstrates how individual player magnetism can elevate entire league visibility and fan participation levels.
You're my darling. Yeah, I'm supporting Angel Reese when it comes to the All-Star votes. You're damn right I am. She's a star. She's a star in this league. For the amount of videos that I make about Angel Reese, who would I be not to pay it forward and be like, yeah, I make videos because she's a star. I talk about her because she's one of the most noticeable names in the WNBA, along with some other reasons. But yeah.
Historical voting comparisons highlight dramatic shifts in player popularity and fan base development. Some previously popular players have experienced significant ranking declines, dropping from top 5 positions to locations outside the top 30. These changes reflect evolving fan preferences and possibly indicate performance-based voting patterns rather than purely name recognition. Arike Ogunbowale exemplifies this trend, falling from prominent voting positions to substantially lower rankings despite maintaining professional activity activity. This decline suggests fan bases require consistent engagement and performance to maintain voting momentum over multiple seasons. Geographic and team-based voting patterns reveal interesting organizational dynamics. Indiana Fever's exceptional representation suggests coordinated fan efforts and strong regional support. Conversely, other franchises with prominent players show less concentrated voting success, indicating varying levels of fan organization and engagement strategies.
I don't think she will be, because you can see it. There is a difference when you watch players. Like, there's a difference when you watch players. Like, there's a big difference when you watch, for example, like a Jason Tatum type in the NBA, or you watch a Luka type. And I know there's always going to be the arguments, and I do think the arguments that, what's the name? Luka Doncic isn't as good as Tatum because
The voting methodology changes for 2025 introduce new dynamics affecting player selection processes. The combination of fan, player, and media input creates more balanced evaluation criteria compared to purely popularity-based system. This hybrid approach aims to recognize both public appeal and professional merit in all-star selections. Player mobility and team changes influence voting patterns significantly. Former team affiliations and player transactions create complex loyalty dynamics affecting vote distribution. Fans may continue supporting former players while gradually shifting allegiance to new team members. Rookie performance in voting demonstrates changing league demographics and emerging star power. Multiple first-year players achieving top 10 positions indicates fresh talent attracting immediate fan attention and suggests successful league marketing of new personalities.
Angel Reese has been on my ballot along with Aaliyah Boston, along with Nafisa Collier, along with Asia Wilson, along with Kiki Iriafin, along with John Cole Jones, Caitlin Clark, Lexi Hull, Kelsey Mitchell. You guys might be asking yourself, Ben, why is that gray spot open? Because that spot was taken by Ari McDonald, folks. And then when Ari McDonald got cut, suddenly they locked me out of my fourth option. But this has been the voting that I've been submitting every single
Social media engagement levels do not necessarily correlate with voting participation, as evidenced by disparities between online presence and actual vote totals. This disconnect highlights differences between passive social media consumption and active fan participation through official league channels. The reserve selection process through coaching decisions introduces additional complexity to all-star roster construction. Coaches may prioritize different criteria than fans, potentially including overlooked deserving players or correcting perceived voting imbalances based on performance metrics. League growth metrics reflected in voting increases demonstrate substantial progress in fan engagement and overall popularity. The progression from thousands to hundreds of thousands of votes indicates successful expansion efforts and growing mainstream appeal.
because he's out of shape and all, but like clearly that's not going to happen with Caitlin Clark. But at the end of the day, it is a different way that these players are being treated. And I think if Paige Beckers ever thinks or ever enters the best in the world conversations, I'm not saying she's going to be targeted like Caitlin Clark is. And let's be real, there's no argument to be made. She's had, 7-8 flagrant fouls committed against her in the last year.
Team-specific fan dedication varies considerably across franchises, with some organizations generating exceptional supporter mobilization, while others struggle to convert general popularity into concrete voting action. These patterns reflect broader organizational culture and fan engagement strategies.
day since All-Star voting opened. That's more than I can say for the other Reese's Pieces. So guys, if I'm doing my part, all I'm asking is that you folks do your part. Something that I want to talk about, on the left side of your screen, we're seeing the 2025 numbers, and then boom, on the right side of your screen, you're seeing the 2024 numbers. Arike Ongumbawale.
The All-Star voting process serves as an annual measurement of player popularity, team loyalty, and league growth trajectories. Results provide valuable insights into fan behavior, marketing effectiveness, and evolving player recognition patterns throughout professional women's basketball. These voting trends ultimately reflect the league's continued evolution and expansion, demonstrating how individual star power can drive broader organizational growth while highlighting ongoing challenges in maintaining consistent fan engagement across diverse player bases and geographic regions.